Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Solar Sidekicks. My name's Pat Southwell and I am here with my co-host, Lawrence Aconti. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning. How are we going?
Going great, thanks. Really good. Another happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. It's a casual Friday as well.
Yeah.
A bit chilly here in Melbourne.
A little bit. This week's been a bit cold, hasn't it? Like at night time anyway.
Oh, and the frosty windscreen.
Yeah. We've copped ice a couple of times actually.
Yeah, it's starting to get into winter.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it now. Absolutely. All right, good stuff. Well, let's acknowledge the traditional landowners of where we're recording this today, the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to all elders past, present, and emerging.
Me too.
All right, we have an episode today, which I don't know, I feel like we're kind of known a little bit for helping out with backstop a bit in Victoria. Today we're taking a little bit of a turn, so we're going to be trying to help our friends in New South Wales.
Mm-hmm. We're going to New South Wales.
We are. So we're recording this, I don't know, what is it, late May kind of thing. Yep. And I'm not actually sure exactly when this was announced, but we're talking about the PDRS system or rebate scheme in New South Wales. Mm-hmm. So a battery rebate.
Yes.
So do you want to have a go at the acronym? So
oh gosh, what was it? Peak demand reduction scheme.
Good stuff. Peak demand reduction scheme.
Yes.
All right. So what we've been hearing is some pretty difficult times for a lot of installers.
Yep.
That's what you've had a couple of people reach out to you as well, haven't you?
Exactly right. And also, I guess more so difficult on the admin side. I think with everything that happened with backstop, a lot of people did reach out to me with that. So same deal has happened and it's not really fun.
Yeah. It's been hard, hasn't it? It's been hard. Just from some of the anecdotal stuff you sort of hear is that installers are being asked to do things that they wouldn't normally do, things they're not used to doing.
As well as on the, submitting extra paperwork they haven't done before or new certificates and whatnot. So it sounds like it may look like a little bit of a nightmare up there.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Like I'd mentioned a couple of other episodes, like I was sort of getting backstop vibes a bit off it. Like a lot of care out there as well. People want to get these systems right and they want to get these rebates right for their clients. They want to be able to offer it and they just are not getting any help. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. All right. Well, maybe I'll just let's make a bit of a disclaimer first. Anything I've said about people in New South Wales that is not that flattering, let's put that to the side for today. We're here to help. I think I've had a bit of a crack at governments before, just like not having mandatory inspections and not really caring that much about solar. I think I've mentioned those sort of things before.
What?
Yeah.
Sound like you.
Yeah, I may have mentioned it. Anyway, that's okay. That's okay.
No, we're here to help.
Yeah, we really want to help the industry. Yeah, I'm really keen to help our what do we call them? Brothers and sisters in Sydney?
Our friends.
Our friends.
Yep.
They're our friends, and yeah, we really want to see them do well and thrive, and we want solar to be doing well.
Yep, and hopefully the right people listen to this and they hear what's happening and they feel the frustration. Yeah,
I reckon that. And then, so what we're actually going to do today is speak to a few people that are experiencing this. We're going to get them on remotely. We're going to just give them a call.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not coming into the studio. That's all right. That's okay. And then, we'll do a couple of segments of that, a bit of discussion around it. And then we're going to finish up with a bit of stuff that's been going on. A little bit of a wrap up to Cutter's night last night.
You have got some tea to spill.
Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun, actually. That was a lot of fun. So, anyway,
there's a lot of exciting things happening. It's been a big week.
It has.
Yeah, I'm keen to share some stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I reckon we might get into our first guest that we're going to get on.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, so it's Bridgette, isn't it?
Yes, Bridgette from Peak Energy Group.
Yep.
They're located up in Albury-Wodonga.
Mm-hmm.
Bridgette does all of the admin and the paperwork for their team up there.
Yep.
And I really feel what she's going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going through the exact same thing with backstop. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of care and you can tell that she does really care about her work and getting things right as well. And that's why it does affect the admin staff just as much as the installers, right in the same race. So let's do it.
All right, let's go on Bridgette. All right, let's just give her a call.
Cool.
Hello.
Hey, Bridgette. It's Lauren and Pat from
Bridgette.
the Solar Sidekicks podcast. How you going?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
I'm great, thank you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks for taking our call today, and thanks for jumping on. We really appreciate it. And we want to hear from you. So do you want to give us a little rundown of your role at Peak? I did briefly introduce you, but you may have to correct me. So please go for it.
My role started off coming off maternity leave and just coming on board and helping with the admin, just a little bit here and there, doing probably 5 to 10 hours. And then now with AusNet, Backstop and Essential Energy and PRCs and everything, I'm doing 20, 25 hours a week, which is great. But yeah, so my role is pretty much customer service, admin, marketing, invoicing, rebate claims, all those fun things.
Stop it. You sound like me, but up in New
Yeah. Whereabouts are you guys based exactly?
So we are based in Wodonga, so we're on the Albury-Wodonga border, but we also do a lot in Bright, Myrtleford, Wangaratta. We've even got Holbrook. We go to Yarrawonga as well. So we go, pretty much within the hour and a half of Wodonga we'll go.
Yeah, right. And you're doing work in both jurisdictions, New South Wales and Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is perfect.
Yeah, it's actually, you're a really good sort of test case to speak to, because you're like Lauren and I and all the people in Victoria know what it's like to work in Victoria, and it can be quite difficult with a lot of the paperwork that's required. And it's different. It's totally different in New South Wales, and you're actually having to be over both sets of everything.
Yeah. New South Wales is another ball game again, especially with the battery PRCs. You'll find a lot of industries just won't offer the rebate because of the paperwork involved in it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're finding? Like, so what's your experience been with it so far? What's your experience like as a whole?
Yeah, it's been hard. So we've now finally been paid for 4 PRC jobs out of about 10.
Congratulations.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it was a very exciting win for me. But the issue is, because they've taken so long to get back to us as well with the information they require, like I had to keep following up saying, I haven't heard back. Is there anything else you need? Obviously, being our first jobs, we didn't fully know as well that the trade price dropped 20 cents.
Okay.
So with just 4 jobs that we've been paid for, we've already lost just over $600.
Yeah, right.
That's stiff.
Yeah, because obviously we give the client the rebate that we tell them and they sign up for, so we wear the cost. So yeah, that's a downfall, and we've still got another 6 at that trade price that we've quoted.
Oh, wow.
That we're just going to have to take the hit for. So 20 cents doesn't sound much, but it adds up per PRC per job.
I'm just going to say it. That's pretty shit.
Yeah, it's not great. Look, that reminds me of so this is something Lauren won't know that much about. So there used to be,
go on.
So I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it today. So there used to be a thing where STC prices used to fluctuate, and at the moment, So at the moment, it's pretty much you're always going to get your close to $40 now, which is the maximum. There was times where it used to drop right out, and look, don't quote me on this. I think there might have been times where it was like at $25.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I like really, really low, and people used to take the hit because there was too many STCs coming in for what was allowed for. Wow. And you don't really see that anymore. You don't really see that happening anymore. But it sounds like, Bridgette, is that a similar type of thing? Like is it? I don't know.
Yeah, they sort of started at around $2.20 when we first started the PRC jobs, and
$2.20 is that what you're saying?
Yeah, $2.20 per PRC.
Yep.
And we looked at some other platforms last week of who else we could trade with, and they've even dropped down to $1.80 just because of how many PRC claims have come in. So they're all dropping it, but it's just sort of not something we were expecting, because obviously with our STCs, with the PV, they've been pretty stable.
It's been stable for 10 years.
That I've been working.
It's been stable for 10 years. Honestly, I mean, I think it's about 10 years, but it may even be longer. It's been a long time where STCs have been stable, and it honestly, it seems like a bit of a distant memory when we were worrying about that. So, and then you're having to sort of revisit it. That's difficult.
Yeah,
that's very hard.
And it's hard when you've got another 6 jobs that you're still going to lodge, and you just know you're going to be out of pocket for those 6 jobs, but you've just got to submit them and get them done.
Can I just ask, what was the time frame when you first submitted it to when you got payment?
They're really quick now. So the platform we use have now been allocated funding.
Okay.
So we're getting paid, within a week.
That's good.
But some of these jobs are back from November last year.
It's got backstop written all over.
Yeah, it has. Absolutely. It absolutely has.
Yeah, with the with New South Wales, the backstop hasn't caused too much of a drama.
No.
Because we don't have to worry about that. It's just the fact that they got, I suppose, inundated with PRC claims and jobs they were checking over, and they just weren't getting back to us on things that they were still requiring, but it was sitting in their workload as things still need to be done and provided on them, but we had no idea.
And what were they what information were they often asking to resubmit or bring back?
A lot of it's the site map that has to have quite a fair bit of data in it on, where the battery's located and where the closest door is. And it's pretty much having to know
Closest door.
the house structure and where every room is and where it all is.
On your site map.
Silly things like you provided the electricity bill, but it's in the partner's name, but the claim's in the other person's name. But they live together. They've just got different surnames.
Okay.
And they're questioning, why is the bill in someone else's name? It's like, well, that's because it's their partner and their partner set up the electricity billing.
Okay.
Okay. So that's all right. Look, I can see that's a flaw with them, the structure or the structure of the system that they've got. That sitemap one's interesting. Yeah. I've never really heard that you need to put every room on a sitemap. Is that what they're asking you to do?
Not quite every room, but you have to really state, where is the next window, how far away is the battery from like the roller door in a garage, and just making sure that it is, meeting all the safety aspects, I guess. So I get where they're coming from, but there is just, you've got to go overboard in the detail with it just to have it put through. You can't just say 600 meters from the roller door and that's it. You've got to have it all specified in your site plan, which thankfully the platform we use, we can do it all in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still, you just kind of got to go over and above just to get it through and not be asked any more questions.
Actually, I can vouch for Bridgette there because she showed me a sitemap, a Victorian one and a New South Wales one. And even I got a bit confused. It was a bit like snakes and ladders. There was so much, so many lines.
So much detail. Just go over and above just to get it done.
Yeah, it looked a little bit out of place, but I'm like, if that's what they want, that's what they want.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So what about dealing with your aggregator? Have they been quite good? Have they been like forthcoming with information? If you get something wrong, you put a claim in and you get something wrong, are they pretty quick to get back to you and say, we can't put this through because it's going to get rejected. We can't pay.
They have now. They've been pretty quick at getting back to us within a few days.
Okay.
But it was that first instance that, in November when we started lodging them to now it's only probably been maybe a month or two that I've finally been able to have contact with them.
Okay.
But it took a good couple of months of me chasing up just to find out where these claims were at and what was needed to get something back to me. The annoying thing is as well, though, with who we trade through with these PRCs, there's not just the one delegated person you're messaging or emailing. So it's like, okay, this claim is with this person, so I've got to reply to this person for that one. This claim is with that person, so I've got to make sure I give them all the paperwork for that claim.
It's a bit messy.
So, yeah, very messy.
And with the rebate as well, are you offering it as an upfront deduction to the customer?
Yeah, it is. That's why we're out of pocket. So we're a little bit more hesitant with this whole battery STC business coming in. But we've had to chat to clients where we're offering the discount up front and then whatever difference there is after the 1st of July, whether we refund or whether they have to pay the difference, they're happy to.
Okay.
But we are a little bit hesitant with PRCs in the New South Wales and the battery STC. There's no real final, yes, they can claim both rebates.
I've heard this because apparently there's something with the New South Wales scheme that says you're not eligible for any other government rebate if you use it. Is that right?
Yeah. Connor mentioned that.
Yeah.
Smart Energy Council.
So we're a little bit hesitant there. And clients are happy to wait till the 1st of July. But it's still, there's a backlog of work that's going to be there for us. but it's as well, we're doing the upfront discount now for even our Victorian clients, but we're not going to receive the benefits till after the 1st of July.
Yeah.
And we've still got to go out and do a final check-in after the 1st of July to then finally get the rebate claim done and everything.
Yeah, I think it's been, something came out this week about that with the federal rebate, that now the commissioning date needs to be after
July.
Yeah,
July
so
1st,
they're like,
yeah,
we'll
that's right.
backdate till the 4th or the 6th of April, whatever it was, that's fine. But it's like, so it doesn't hold up the industry. But yet we're now going to have all these jobs where the boys are just going to have to go out to do their final check-in.
Yeah, I know. That's look, that is, I know, that is really annoying. Look, I suppose the good side of that though is that at least they haven't said no rebates in that period. Like, you can't do any work, because that would have like really stopped the industry.
So in saying that,
Yeah.
it's definitely put a pause on the building industry. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can't claim that Solar Victoria battery loan if your house is under construction.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many different things, isn't there? It affects it all.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, all right, Bridgette, what, any other issues you've been having with it that have been like, that you just sort of either can't see a way forward, or have just been like really frustrating?
I think the frustrating thing with the battery, New South Wales PRC claims is, I said to Lauren the other day, we have to pay for an application with Essential Energy to then have that PRC claim rebate done. So you've got to have an application reference. You've got to pay minimum, it's $110 just because you're adding a battery to an existing system, which I think is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Okay.
We're adding a battery. We're not changing the export limit, but you've still got to state what your export limit is you're wanting to do and everything in that application. You've got to provide, your voltage rise calculations, your SLD, everything like that in Essential Energy, just to get this reference number to then be able to have your rebate claim and then pay $110 for that, and pray it doesn't go off to a manual assessment that then costs around $300 for that application.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, like, just to sort of paint the picture a little bit for us, Bridgette, what's, I don't know, a lot of systems you're probably selling are going to be in that 5 to 10 kilowatt hour battery range. How much rebate is that worth on this scheme, roughly? Do you have any idea roughly what it's worth?
So for the PRCs, what's this one? Give me 2 seconds. So she got, it was one 8 kilowatt battery, which is 7.8 kilowatts usable.
That's a good example.
So that's 628 PRCs. And we got around $1,200 for that one.
It's a significant amount, isn't it? Yeah. It's like as much as a Solar Vic rebate.
Yeah, it's like a rebate. It's a rebate.
And that's all.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, and then, you're having to do these assessments and everything. Like, you have to then send in the paperwork to Essential. Which I suppose,
you then have to submit everything to Essential, and then you've got to go onto this other website called AEMO and create a DER.
Yeah, DER register.
So everything in that register has to match up with what you've got in Essential Energy to then get that. And it is such a pain if there is an existing system on there that we didn't install, so we don't know the full details. And if it's not already in AEMO, that makes it hard as well. You've got to try and work out what panels they have, what size it was, how many panels.
With everything happening with backstop, the systems that are going in that are not registered.
Yeah, I know that. I know this. Well, this AEMO DER register, this came in, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, something like that. It hasn't been, exactly. Okay. Look, it hasn't been I don't think it's been managed all that well. Like, I know there's a lot of installers that just some don't even know about it, let alone use it.
No, well, I didn't know about it until we're doing these PRC claims. With Essential Energy, we lodge everything.
Yeah.
We lodge the CCW once we've done the job and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, it's all got to link up.
Okay.
And then don't start me on Oz now. I'm still trying to get tested through that. That's another ball game again. So thankfully most of our clients already have feed-in activated.
Yeah.
So that makes us happy. But it's just trying to get that final testing done.
Well, we know AusNet listens, so
AusNet have actually turned a corner as well. I need to work on how to get industry engaged with that. So
definitely.
Backstop is still a work in progress, and now this one as well.
Yeah.
Well, you're a gun, Bridgette. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And I think you're really crushing it up there. And Peak are very lucky to have you.
Yeah, we have a really good team. We're all local, we're all mates. So it does make all these difficult times a lot easier when you've got good friends you work with and you can just whinge and have a horrid day and it's fine.
Well, that's
Love that.
yeah, how good.
What a queen.
All cancel each other. Let me just ask you one.
Yeah, all counselling, but all mentally not okay.
It's free.
Yeah. So do you live? Which side of the border do you live on?
So I'm in Wodonga as well.
Okay. So is your allegiances lay with the Southerners, or are you do you sort of like side with the New South Wales people? What state do you think's better?
Oh, shit. We are
Might
so
be tough.
hard already.
Well, you do live in Wodonga, so I don't know. I didn't think it'd be that hard.
Vic.
Well, when I first moved over here, I was in Albury.
Okay.
And now I'm in Wodonga, but I've got 2 kids and a third on the way. So
Yep.
Wodonga is more family friendly, but Albury was great before I had kids. So I look at Albury as the young people side,
Okay.
and Wodonga's the family friendly side.
She's not. She makes out as if she's old. She's 30 years old. She's not.
Okay, fair enough.
I am old when I've got almost 3 kids. I feel old.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, no worries. Well, thank you very much for your time, Bridgette. Really appreciate all the insights you've given us and for agreeing to come on. Yeah, it's been really good to hear what it's like for people on the ground.
Thanks, Bridgette. You've been awesome. I really
No
appreciate it.
worries. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. What do you reckon, Lauren? That was any surprises there for you?
No, and I really feel it. This is what Bridgette and I bonded over.
Yeah. Okay.
First the backstop and now this. And although I'm familiar with it enough to have a conversation about the scheme, but I do really feel what she's going through as well as other installers. I mean, you don't get the paperwork right. It's just rejected, see ya, gone. It creates such a roadblock, especially with cash flow as well. If you got $1,200 times X amount of schemes, it adds up.
Yeah. That definitely adds up. And especially if it's being reduced and they can't really do anything about it just because the market's dropped.
Yeah.
Difficult.
It is surprising though. Like are they submitting more now that it's getting better? Because I kind of thought a lot of people threw their hands up and like backstop, not doing it.
Not doing it. Yeah.
So maybe it is starting to get better.
Hopefully. Yeah. But then, how's this though? It gets better, more comes through and the market price drops. Like, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? What's going on in industry? Like, how do we not learn these lessons?
Best up New South Wales.
Yeah, like seriously.
Best up iPart.
Oh, maybe. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. It'd be good to get them on and have a few questions for them, wouldn't it?
I think we may. I reached out to them and they did give me a call back on a no caller ID, which is sketchy. And I tried to get them on here for today's episode and they said they couldn't make it. So I'm going to work on that. And
that'd be great.
Put them in the hot seat.
Absolutely. That would be great. I'd love to hear from them because, look, and I wonder if it's even up to them with this, like with that market price. Who knows? I mean, usually markets sort of run themselves. It's based on, supply and demand. So if the supply is high, the price is going to drop. So, I love a little bit of accountability. I love it when people just take ownership of what they've messed up. Yeah. And sure.
Like even with Backstop AusNet and City Power and Power Corp, that was like the first thing they said off the bat. They know it's been horrible and difficult, and instantly it was like, oh,
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
you feel way better about it.
Yeah, and remember that apology from AusNet? I was like so nice. I was like, I got a really warm feeling.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I'm still pissed off. No.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna a couple more callers. All right, first break. Let's go to our first break, and we're going to come back. We've got a couple of other people we're going to have a chat with, and we're going to see what they can offer. All right. Well, we will be right back in just a few moments.
Bring it on.
Hey, solar installers. Struggling to keep up with CPD requirements? At Southwell Solar Training, we're here to make it simple. Our online courses are designed to give you the knowledge you need without the sales pitch. With an affordable subscription, you'll unlock access to our growing library of technical courses, covering everything from inspecting older systems to spotting installation defects. Learn at your own pace, earn CPD points, and stay ahead in the industry. Join us today and start learning smarter, not harder. Visit www.southwellsolartraining.com.au and get your CPD the easy and affordable way.
And we are back. I'm trying not to laugh. That was really funny. Pat and I just had a little bit of a giggle before, but we are back from our first ad break. That was Bridgette from Peak Energy Group.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She was great. She was really good. And yeah, you can tell she's sort of living it, breathing it and feeling it. So
Love it.
yeah. All right. Let's get another perspective now. So next one we have, we've got Catherine Neal from Greenbank.
Yep.
So they're an aggregator.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to get a different perspective from them.
Yep.
It's
The girls as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, good. All right, well, I'll give her a buzz now and let's see what she's got to say.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
Great, thanks, Kat. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Really good. All right, well, I've got Lauren here as well.
Hi, Kat. How you going?
Fantastic. Hi, Lauren. I'm well, and you?
Great, thank you. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy Friday to you as well.
Thanks for taking some time out of your day today. Have a chat with us.
Oh, that's my pleasure.
Good stuff. All right, Kat. So, well, do you want to? I've given you a little bit of an intro just before. Do you want to just give yourself a bit of an intro on what you do at Greenbank?
Yeah, fantastic. So I've been with Greenbank for, I think, 4 years now. So I'm the National Sales Manager at Greenbank. So I'm quite well versed within the business across all areas, helping installers with their day-to-day queries that come through, as well as facilitating growth within the business and maintaining those relationships with our key retailers and installers.
Great.
That's awesome.
Great stuff.
Love it.
All right, so you're right in the thick of this New South Wales battery rebate. You're sort of
I am.
You're doing it. You're one of the aggregators.
Show me the money.
Yeah, pretty much.
We are, exactly. I like to call it Make Money Monday. But anyway, yes, so we are, so at Greenbank, we are very well versed in the scheme.
Yep.
We were the first to become accredited, I believe.
All right.
Awesome.
Under the, the new perks scheme. So that's fantastic. It's really exciting. It's great to be involved in all of it. So we're definitely seeing a lot of the different, I think, things that are coming through.
Yeah, for sure.
The good and the bad?
Yeah, good and the bad. Yeah, that's it. So
Exactly.
yeah. Have you had any, so from your point of view as an aggregator, has it been difficult for you guys as well? Like we'd speak to, a few of you hear anecdotally from a few installers and other admin people that they're sort of having trouble with a lot of the stuff and what's expected of them. What do you guys, you got a perspective on that at all? Has it been?
Yeah. So look, I appreciate where people are coming from. I mean, obviously it is quite a labor intensive scheme. There are a lot of, there's a lot of admin to it. I think that, all things considered, it's something that we've wanted for a long time. So we've wanted the rebates to come out for years. Installers have, they've paid for their training. Everyone knows what they're doing in relation to that. I think that it's just been, I guess, a little bit of an eye-opener in relation to all of the requirements that there are around the scheme. I think, at Greenbank, we tend to take the approach where we understand that the installers are the experts.
Yeah.
So we do value the feedback that they bring to us, and we try and work with that to ensure that we're making the process as easy for them as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Are you finding some are struggling more than others with what the requirements are? Is that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, all things considered, the installers are out there and they're doing a great job. So their concerns are around ensuring that they are installing a quality system for their customer. So I think sometimes it's just getting their heads around all this, the paperwork that they need to do.
So, Kat, just out of curiosity, once it's lodged on the installer's side and they've uploaded it to whatever, your platform, of course, what happens from there?
So we've got an in-house compliance team that check over everything with a fine-tooth comb. So essentially our team will go over and they'll look at the claims. And, what we're finding is more often than not, there are issues with things that have been missed or, just paperwork that needs to be uploaded or something else that they might need to go back and do. So we tend to go in with that expert advice where we're here to try and facilitate the process as to make it as smooth as we possibly can for them. So we're going back and we're advising them exactly on what the issues are with the claim, I guess, in the first instance, if there are any, and advising them on what needs to be rectified to have them submit a compliant claim.
Okay.
Because essentially we want to pay them for it. We want them to get paid.
Yeah, well, then everyone gets paid.
An arduous process.
Yeah, well, then you get paid as well.
Exactly right. We
Yeah.
want to be paid, so we want to pay them, and we want to make it as easy and streamlined as possible for them. We've got some documents that we put out to our installers to make their life easier. So we've itemised things for them so that they can see exactly what's required from an admin's perspective. So what documents need to be uploaded and so forth, as well as what they need to do while they're on site.
That sounds
so
like
there's that
a
handy
holy grail.
checklist that they can use.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit of a holy grail, those documents.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
One of the things we heard about, I don't know where you guys sort of sit on this, but because we're like, so Lauren and I, we're just sort of we're starting right from the start with a lot of these things. So can you explain, or have you got any comments about how the price of the certificates has dropped? Do you know about that? Because we've spoken to a couple of people who when they've gone to quote the job, the certificates were, I think, is it $2.20, something like that. And then they've gone to do the job, and because a whole lot have come through, they've dropped down to like, I don't know, was it $1.80 or something? Something along those lines. Am I speaking the right language here, Kat? Is this right?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. So look, I think the prices will fluctuate with supply and demand.
Yeah.
There are a number of factors that will play into that. And I think, look, the thing that we're clear with about on it, with our clients, because we try and be really transparent. So I can only speak for what we do at Greenbank, but we advise our clients that the price that they're going to get for their certificates is what it is at the time of submission.
Yeah, okay.
So it's all really clear. We don't have any, there's no hidden fees or charges with our pricing. The client can see when they're looking in their portal and they're looking at a job, they can see what the price is, as it's live. So essentially, if they are entering a job into the system a month prior to actually it being completed, there is going to be some fluctuation with that price based around the market. However, like I said, once they submit it, they will be able to see live what the price is, and that price is locked at submission, provided that all their compliance is in order. So that's the other thing that comes into, a factor, obviously, is if the job's not compliant at the time of submission and it needs to go back and forth and around, that could be something that is impeding on that.
Yeah, it's hard to.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. It is what it is. Yeah. So I was mentioning to Lauren before, because you've probably been around a fair while, I reckon, Kat, and remember the STC prices fluctuating. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember what they dropped to? Like back in years ago?
I don't think I was around when it fell to its lowest, but I've heard some whispers from people about it getting down to as low as $12 or $15.
12 or 15. There you go. See, there you go. See, I said I could have sworn I remembered it being 22 or 25. Yeah, 25, something like that. Yeah, 12 or 15. So that must have been when there was just a huge oversupply.
That's right. I was speaking to a veteran the other day that mentioned that. He kind of threw out that figure, and I went, "Oh wow, that's And
that's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. So this is like a similar thing, isn't it? It's just because in the STC market, like we haven't seen these shortages in. I don't know. I said it was about 10 years. I'm pretty sure since we've had fluctuations in STC. They're always now, they're always up close to that $40 now.
I think the thing to remember as well is that the STCs are well established, so they're not as much of a volatile market as what some of the other certificates are. And in Victoria, we've got state-specific certificates, with the VEECs. And it's a much more volatile market that we're playing with there, which is why we advise our clients not to quote on what their rebate is. It's an estimate based on the current market price. I think that that's something that's really important for retailers and installers to remember, is that they need to cover themselves. So, and I understand it's hard when you're dealing with consumers. It's a whole different battlefield that they're facing out there. So I can appreciate that. We just try and do our best to ensure that we're educating them with the knowledge that we have to try and ensure that they're covering all their bases, and also just trying to streamline the process for them so that they're not getting caught out in this position where they're having to go back and forth to site or having to go back to clients and explain why there's been a drop in the price.
Interesting. I think that's just an adjustment, isn't it? That learning to, in some ways, you've got to play the market a bit, don't you? Like to some extent.
Essentially. Yeah, I think so. And I think they need to cover themselves a little bit as well. Just creating that little bit of a buffer just gives them that room to breathe.
I think it's hard when like not for all businesses, because some businesses run at quite healthy margins and they're quite well established and all those sort of things, and they can take a hit if they if the price drops, they can sort of take it for a period of time. But then there's other companies who are sort of running really close to the line with low profit margins, and just when that happens, they probably just can't handle it.
That's right. I think that's a great point that you make.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of companies out there that are competing with a lot of the maybe smaller companies that are competing with bigger companies. And, they are working on tight margins and they're offering the full rebates back to the customers. So then when there is a shift in the price, it's affecting them more than what, some may realise.
Interesting. Something we probably can get some learnings from that from the industry, although I feel like we did learn it a long time ago, but now everyone's probably forgotten about it because there's been a lot of water going under the bridge since all of that volatility 10 or so years ago. Yeah. All right. Well, Kat, what about... So, all in all, do you reckon that most the installers who've sort of got it sorted and the ones you're paying out quickly and having their compliance checks done and they're passing, they've sort of got it all sorted and they've got their systems and processes in place? Is that sort of what you're finding? And it's a lot of the time it's the newer ones who haven't done too much.
So.
Do you think it's a bit of an education process?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're all learning. So I think that as the industry evolves and we have new processes and new certificates that come on board, new schemes that come into play, which is great for everyone. It's fantastic for the industry. It's great for all of us. It's also fantastic for the consumers. But I think it's a real learning curve. I think, like I said, the installers, they're the experts in their industry and they've done all their training, but it's not necessarily hinged around all the compliance requirements to receive the certificates or to go through those processes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that, there are a lot of players out there who are, well-versed in it and they are getting to that point where they are submitting claims that are completely compliant and they're not having to go back. Yeah. And perhaps for some of the guys that aren't, as experienced in the perk rebates or, whatever the rebates might be, it's just that teething stage of going through and just learning what the ins and outs are of needing to ensure that it's compliant.
Yeah. Well, here's your chance, Kat. I'm saying you need to pick a good aggregator. Give us a little pitch. Why should they?
Yeah,
pick
definitely.
Greenbank? Why should they pick Greenbank?
We provide our installers with handy tips and tricks along the way as well. So much like the cheat sheet that I mentioned, we want to work with you to ensure that your job is as easy as it can be. Essentially, you go out and you do your install, leave the rest with us. We'll make sure that we are advising you on what needs to be done. We'll check over everything within a timely manner. So it's within 24 hours of the claim being submitted to us generally. We'll advise if there's an issue and help you along the way. So we value the feedback of the installers as well. So if they're coming to us and telling us that something is there when it hasn't necessarily appeared to be in the first place, we'll work with that. I would definitely encourage anyone who wants to learn more about how Greenbank can add value to their business, definitely head to our website. It's green-bank.com.au. Complete the registration form, pop my name at the bottom of the form, and I'll be sure to get in touch and love to have a chat with you all and see how we can make things easier for you.
Great
Love
stuff. Yeah, that's great. Thanks a lot for that,
Thank you, Kat. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well done, Greenbank as well.
Yeah.
You guys are all over it.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely do. It definitely does seem that way. Even just when we had Rhea in here and chatting to her about all the great stuff you guys are doing and helping the industry. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries, Kat. You're a ripper. I really appreciate you coming on. And you have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
Kat.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Lauren. Have an outstanding day.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Okay. See you guys. Bye.
So there's Kat Neal from Greenbank.
Interested
Greenbank
in
Environmental.
outside?
Oh, it is. But it's kind of, whoopsies. It's kind of not quite exactly the other side. Like, I feel like they're the middle people, right? They're the ones that are helping the installers get these claims through.
And like she said, they want to pay them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
we've all got, I guess, a higher up.
Yeah. Of course. That's right. Exactly. So it sounds like they're really trying to help installers get through.
Yeah, I like what Greenbank are doing.
Yeah.
Reach out, people.
Yeah.
Might always be worth a conversation. Why not?
For sure. All right. It's sort of, definitely talking to her shifted perspective a little bit. Like, you just see things from other people's perspectives, and it's probably going to change again once we speak to the next person. So next we have on, we have Richard Joyce, and he's an installer. I don't actually know Richard. He just reached out to me. Okay. So we'll get him on and let's hear his story.
Let's go.
All right, 1 second.
Hello, this is Richard speaking.
Hello, Richard. It's Pat Southwell here.
G'day, Pat. How you going?
All right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for the call.
That's all right. No worries. Thanks for coming on. And I've got my co-host with us, Lauren Seconti.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
Hey, Lauren. Very good. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Are you working today? You out on the tours? What are you doing?
Not on the tours in the office today. We are drenched in rain. We're in southern tablelands in New South Wales, and it has not stopped raining since Monday. So we haven't got a lot done, but we are pushing through.
You guys are copping at the moment, aren't you? Whereabouts? Where exactly?
So we're based out of Goulburn, is where I am.
Oh, okay.
And we service Goulburn, then the Southern Highlands, which is sort of like your Mossvale, Bowral,
yep,
Mittagong, right down through. We have another location in Narooma, so to the far south coast as well.
Oh, the south coast too. Yeah, great spot. Yeah, okay. I think it's is it around the is it the Hunter that's copping it really bad at the moment? I think, or maybe around Taree.
Yeah, so further north than us, they are underwater, and we've copped a fair bit of rain, but fortunately, not enough to cause any severe flooding.
Good to hear. Well, thinking, yeah, me too. I just did too. Yeah, wow. Thinking of all our solar peeps in that area and everyone else. Hopefully, they're all okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Richard. Well, look, Richard, I don't even really know you. We reached out after I put the call out on Cutters about what's happening with this battery rebate in New South Wales, and look, so I don't really know much about you, and we want to hear your story and your perspective. And do you want to just give us a quick rundown on your company, what you do, and that sort of stuff first? Yeah,
of course. Yeah, so the company is Global Solar Brokers. We're a regional network of businesses that trade under different names regionally.
Yep.
So right now we operate as Goulburn Solar, Highlands Solar, and Narooma Solar.
Yep.
With other locations that are earmarked, and but our ethos is about having people in those locations. So it's not just selling in a location and subcontracting. It's having employees in those locations, electricians in those locations, and people that can look after their regional communities.
Yeah.
What we found, where Goulburn is the base, and we found that there is a lot of pressure from sales companies in these areas, and people didn't have anywhere local to go, or anywhere they could really trust to get real information. So a lot of our ethos is about educating customers, making sure that even if they don't go with us, at least they've got an informed decision, or they can make an informed decision based on the information that we can give them, which is often more reliable than what they get from a sales and marketing company.
That's really cool.
And the reason for that is that we're local and we see these people down the street. So if we do the wrong thing by them, then obviously that can come back and really hurt us, and we wouldn't have a business.
Yeah. So you're sick of the city. You're sick of the city slickers just coming in, spending a few nights in your town, doing a few door knocks, and then and then leaving, and then basically they send the installers down to do the work, and they don't know anything, and they do the job, do a shit job, and then they're never to be seen again.
Yeah, and the customers are the ones that are left stranded. Yep. So and they come to us because we're local. So they come to us afterwards.
Gotcha. And
they say, out of town company did this install, it hasn't worked, or these are the problems, and then we're left there to fix it. And so we found that education is a huge part of what we do.
Yeah.
And just trying to make sure that the customers know what they're signing up to before they sign up, and know what they're getting. Particularly because for a lot of people, they're buying solar or batteries for the very first time.
Yep.
And they can't tell the difference in brands. There's no brand awareness at the the introductory level. So unless they're getting that information from quality installers or quality consultants, then they're more likely to make a bad decision.
Absolutely.
Well, they're talking about price only, and that's always a
exactly.
top topic as well.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought I've seen a lot of Goulburn Solar shirts getting around at the Smart Energy Council conference.
You would have.
Yeah, I saw you.
Yeah, so I mean, the company itself, we've got about 25 full-time employees.
Yep.
And the Smart Energy Expo is always where we take everyone. So we take them all because it's a good way for the team to, one, bond, but also see what's coming up, and they can talk to the people behind the scenes. Sometimes if they're talking to tech support, they might actually meet those people.
Yep.
They can meet our preferred suppliers and generally get an idea of what's coming in the industry, what to expect, and get some CPD points for the electricians, which is good too.
For sure. Well, I noticed you and I saw you all there. So
so that's good. That's good to hear. The blue shirts obviously made an impact.
You stuck out. You definitely stuck out, and there was a bunch of you all together. And when there's a bunch of people in the same t-shirts, always
people notice.
People notice, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. I'll let so Stu's the owner of the company. I'll let him know because that's his little flex. He likes to take everyone up there and put a good display on for our company. So
you're doing the right thing, Stu. Get around.
Yeah, that's right.
Good stuff. All right. So what's your experience anyway, Richard? Like, with this scheme? Battery rebate, PDRS. It's got 10 different names. But
my God.
Yeah, what's your experience with it so far? Where are you sort of fitting with it?
Yeah, so I think you would notice as you look through the Cutters page on Facebook or any other forums that there's a lot of discussion about it, and people are generally unhappy with the process and unhappy with how complicated it is, and our opinion is very much the same. I think it all stemmed right back to when it was announced and the delay between the announcement and when it went live. That was probably the first big impact that we noticed, is we had, our best ever battery attachment sales in May, and then between June to November, we couldn't sell a battery. Like, it was everything grinded to a massive halt. So that was a big problem. But then when it went live, obviously we knew there were going to be teething issues, but I think the biggest problem we're having is just the amount of admin. So individually, what they're asking for probably isn't that hard, and that's a really fair point. It's like the task, the requirements they want individually, easy to do, but all together they add up to a huge amount of administration that can't be resolved quickly. I think is the biggest one. Like, some of the examples are getting payment and sending a payment receipt. So basically, we go in, we try and process the application, we hit a standstill because you need to get a receipt for what they've paid. That might take a week, or sometimes 2 weeks, or sometimes longer if customers are being a bit of a pain. And then by the time they pay, you've got to remember, okay, I've got to go back and I've got to jump back into my trader, upload this receipt, and at the same time, in that week or two period, another dozen jobs have been done. And you've got to try and keep up on where you're up to in there. And then continuing on to that is just how picky some of the things seem to be, particularly around site maps.
Another one with site maps. Yeah, we had a discussion about site maps before. What are they? So what do you think they're sort of asking for, which is sort of over and above what you think is in the standard or whatever?
It's a good question. So, like, the site maps, we've done some that are really, really detailed, and they've been based on a floor plan that we can find on the internet, or a floor plan that we've built ourselves digitally. And it's an amazing document, outlines everything that's on the site. It gets submitted, and the feedback says it doesn't tick the requirement. Please send through a hand-drawn copy. And we go, that is just
really
dumb. It is just dumb.
Okay.
Yeah. And
who's asking you to do that? So is that your aggregator asking you to do that, or is that coming back from iPart?
It's coming back from the aggregator before it even gets to iPart. So they're the ones that are...
They're the gatekeepers here, aren't they?
The gatekeepers, basically. We have tried a couple of different aggregators, and they are all very picky. Right? So I will say that they all know that they're probably going to get pinged by iPart for different things. So they want to have all their eggs in their basket, or all their ducks lined up. But yeah, they are exceptionally picky. One of the ones, like as an example, we just did a job where batteries installed in a garage. 2 examples on this. So the first one, battery installed, everything seems okay, clearances are fine, but they've asked us to go back and take a photograph of the room behind the battery, which we think is a massive invasion of the customer's privacy.
Yeah.
And it's also awkward because at this stage, that job was done 6 or 7 weeks ago by the time we finally get the feedback. And now we're asked to call the customer and say, hey, I need to come back, and I'm really sorry, but I need to get
take a picture of your bedroom.
Of your bedroom, yeah. And there's 2 parts to that. One, I can go and I can take a photo of their bedroom.
Yeah.
Or I can just take a photo of a random room. Like, in terms of the actual compliance, they're asking for things that, just seem totally above and beyond what anyone would ever need.
Irrelevant as well.
When the site map clearly says that in this scenario, it's a hallway behind. So that's
okay.
Fine. I can go and take a photo of a hallway. That's no issue. But we have had others where they've had that same requirement, and the room behind is a bedroom. And you're like, I've already stated that on the site map that it's a bedroom. Why do you need a photo of somebody's bedroom? Like, that's a very uncomfortable conversation for us to have with the customer.
So Richard,
for seemingly no reason.
Like, how do you know that that's their bedroom? Like, are you going to these houses and are you quoting them, and then are you walking through and kind of taking a visual of what's what? I mean,
that's a really good question. And so it's an extra step for our installers. So they're on site and they come back, and then we say, okay, I need a site map. And oftentimes they're good enough to know what's behind the wall, but they don't know the layout of the rest of the house. And so we, for a time, we're trying to do a site map that just had the rooms that were adjacent, and they were also, came back. So the site map doesn't reach the requirements because it doesn't show all the adjacent rooms, even though the room behind might be not habitable or a standalone garage. And I think that they're hard to demonstrate on a hand-drawn piece of paper is probably the biggest issue. And I mean, at the start, the site maps that the team were doing were the site maps that we already did, which goes into the meter board. And we're all of assumption, it shows exactly where everything's located. No, it doesn't show you the adjacent rooms or the rooms behind the battery. But it still gives you enough of an idea of where everything is. And we thought that was enough. Or even we use Pylon as our design software. We were marking everything out on the site map that you can print out on Pylon. And it's so detailed. And you can put all the information in there, but they come back and say, no, it needs to be hand-drawn. And
where's this hand-drawn requirement coming from? Is this just something that's
coming from our ACP?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, right. Is that a standard thing, or is that just them doing it?
It's a very interesting question. I don't know if it's a standard thing or whether it's just our ACP. We're not locked in at the moment, but we have so many jobs with them, and this is what keeps coming back. Please submit a better site map, hand-drawn, and that's exactly what they write down every single time. It's hand-drawn site map.
So with this rebate as well, or scheme, whatever you want to call it, is this your first experience with having to draw site maps?
Yep, it is.
So previously, before this battery rebate, New South Wales don't do site maps?
Well, so there is a site map, that goes into the main switchboard, and that's just, that is a requirement that pinpoints the location of the main switchboard, the battery, the inverter. That is hand-drawn, but it's not specifically as detailed as what they're asking for in this scenario, where they're asking for the types of rooms behind the batteries, the types of wall that the batteries are installed on, which you can get from the photo.
Yeah, like, is that I'm sort of interested in digging down on this a little bit too. So I'm an inspector, and I'm not aware of a site map that's required in the standards that states you need to put what room is adjacent to the battery. I have not seen that. Is that or is that a requirement just which is over and above the standard, which is just for this scheme? Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you that it does seem over and above. I can't imagine that there's any reason that they need to show, unless there's something in the standard that says, they can't be installed on in a habitable room or on an adjacent wall to a habitable room within 600 of a window to a habitable room.
Yeah.
And the way that they've interpreted that is that they need to know what's behind the battery. Maybe that is the reasoning. But even more to that, like, we've got others that have come back and said that they've requested to know what size garage that the battery's been installed in. So, okay, it's a double garage. And they've said, well, there is potential in a double garage that a car could do a U-turn inside the garage, that we need multiple
bollards,
multiple bollards on the ground, because there is potential that a car may do a U-turn in a garage. I mean, that it feels above and beyond. Like,
okay.
Maybe you'll tell me there's probably some grey area there. It probably is right.
There is.
It just feels very unusual.
There's certainly grey area there, I think. And look, I mean, so I can sort of speak for Energy Safe Victoria. They did release some document or some guidance on when bollards are required and when they're not.
Yeah.
And there are still some grey areas in that, and potentially some interpretations.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to, can it get hit by a car or not? Like, that's basically, and if it's in a warehouse, can a forklift get to it, or whatever it is? Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. That's
interesting.
that is that is interesting.
It is interesting. That's one part of it. Obviously the I part, they've got a fact sheet.
Yep.
We have to provide evidence that we've given that to a customer before the installation can take part.
Okay.
And again, that's not a hard thing to do, but I would argue that the fact sheet, I would argue that 99% of customers don't read it.
No.
So providing evidence about it.
Yep.
All I do is I send a screenshot showing an email that I sent with a PDF attachment.
Yeah.
But again, same thing, that PDF attachment could be anything.
Could be anything.
It's labeled as iPart fact sheet, and it is the iPart fact sheet. But to provide evidence of that is seemingly above and beyond. So, we had a case where a customer didn't have an email, so we gave the customer their physical copy and took a photo of the customer with their copy of the iPart fact sheet to send to the ACPs, and they've come back and said because it wasn't time stamped, they can't approve it. And like all these things that are seemingly so little that mean you cannot claim a rebate that you've already given to the customer, and you come back weeks and weeks and weeks later and have to do it all again.
Do you have a lot outstanding, Richard?
What was the question, sorry?
Do you have a lot of rebates outstanding?
We do, yep. So we are working through them. A lot of them are relating to small things. Some photos are blurry, some photos aren't far enough back in the wide angles. Photos taken before the stickers were put on, so that the team have put their battery in, do their compliance photos, finish off the install and leave. So we've got to go back for a lot of those. I think the reason that a lot of them are outstanding is because they do take such a long time for the processing. So we can submit them through our trader, and then it sits in our platform as, pending under review. And it stays there, and it still says pending under review. So until we go through and ask for an update, that's when they send back and say, oh yeah, thanks for that. Here's a list of 5 things we need you to go and do on this job. And then you can send them through again. And in this particular, we've got 2 traders. In one particular instance, one is operating out of an Excel spreadsheet, and they send us an Excel spreadsheet that we need to update for them. It just, the whole thing feels
sounds like that. But so for me, that's an aggregator issue, isn't it?
It is. It's an aggregator issue, yes. And I'm sure there are others that we can trial, and we probably will. But we're a very loyal company, and we stay with a particular company for a very long period of time.
Yep.
And in this scenario, it's just been slow. But the answer is yes. There's more than 40 jobs for us that are in the process, that are in the pipeline and haven't been approved, that are needing either more work or still being reviewed. Which obviously you can do the maths, knowing that most of those are about $2,000 a pop.
Yeah.
That adds up. Yeah.
That definitely adds up. It's a lot of cash flow. Well, it's a lot of lack of cash flow that you have to carry.
It is. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, Richard, if I was if you were sitting here with me, you'd probably want to punch me in the mouth, right? But I'm going to be a bit of an agitator here, right? And I'm going to see. I want to ask. I want to see. All right. I can see Lauren's face just change. Then. All right. If I was to say, and please don't take this to heart. I don't think this. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate. All right. There's enough disclaimers there. All right. So New South Wales, you guys you're probably not used to all of these type of requirements, because you don't have the same level of rigor with the what's required with paperwork, and there's no one really looking with inspections. And is this just a case of you guys not being organised enough? Like, I'm talking about like, is it the companies who are just not organised enough, and I suppose just not playing the game well enough with the rebate. Let's I won't say, oh, you're all just a bunch of sooks. I won't say that. No.
I think
but how does that sound? Like,
agree.
is that what do you think? Is there a level of truth to some of that, or is there is that just being too harsh?
No, not being too harsh. I think if inspections were regular, and inspections happened often, then a lot of these small things would be picked up sooner. I think the fact that this rebate's come about, and that the processes maybe haven't been put in place well enough, either by our businesses or by the ACPs who potentially don't know what they're looking for either. All of those things create a backlog, and some of them I totally agree with. Like, we've got some where it's like missing stickers, and we go, yep, totally fine, we're missing stickers, we'll go back and we'll put those where they need to be. And like I said at the start, it's like all of these things individually, they're fine. It's just when they're all put together in one big thing and saying these are so many requirements that that are needed. And I think the added stress comes from the time delay and the money delay, that all those things add up. And then now we're sitting there saying, okay, we've got 40 odd jobs, and some of them are literally blurry photos. And you sit there and go, okay, installers, come on, guys, we need you to take clear photos, please. Like, it's something as simple as that. And that is our fault. That's not the ACP's fault. That's not the aggregator's fault. It is simple things like that that really just add insult to injury when you sit there and say, okay, let's just try this one and see what happens. And they come back with another bunch of things.
You're just not used to it.
Over time, it will get better. But at the same time, with the federal rebate, I'm not sure if you've heard, but the New South Wales one is possibly, at this point in time, not stackable with the federal rebate.
We've heard that. We were discussing that just before. Have you got any further insights? Because I've heard that it potentially may not be, but I think the intention is that it's going to be.
It's going to be.
But
I think the intention is, a lot of companies are advertising that they're doing both, so that could be really, really bad.
That could be a very hard lesson. That could be a very hard lesson for some companies.
Yeah, and I would love to see them amalgamated in some way. That would be good. Less paperwork is always good. So if we can get it all done in one application, that would be much more straightforward. But yeah, back on that previous point, like we have weekly toolbox tools, talks with our guys, and we bring up all the things that are being picked up, and the guys, they know the standards, they know what they need to do, and we think they do a great job, and it can always be better, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But if the New South Wales scheme isn't compatible with the federal scheme, then we'll be happy to see it go.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking for the people.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a fair call too. Yeah, that was a very similar sort of sentiment when the Solar Vic rebate came 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and there was it was so difficult to get it at the time, and they didn't have enough rebates, and there were people saying, "Oh, stuff it, I'm not doing Solar Vic. I don't care. It's costing me too much." And I mean, you may have a case to think that, because this federal rebate is huge. Like it's going to be a lot of money. It's a huge rebate.
It is a huge rebate, and I think if our experience had been faster, if we got responses from ACPs quicker, and you didn't have to try and get the information out of them weeks or months after the installations happened, then a lot of the disdain might not be there. But then to get a list of, here's 40 jobs that all you can see on your portal says that they're, under review, and here they are, they've been reviewed now, and we'll go and fix all these things, and it's a bit of a kick in the gut.
For sure. Well, one more thing, like who's doing these technical reviews from their end?
Yeah,
like, because are these people? Well, they're not inspectors, are they? Are they?
That's my understanding is they're not inspectors. They'd be employed to understand at a base level the standards, or been told what they need to look out for. But I would imagine that they're not electricians, possibly. Maybe there's some people that have that oversight in the companies.
That's a concern for me.
Generally, I would imagine that they're administrative employees.
That's a concern for me. Like that, I don't know. Like I'm an inspector, and I feel like the amount of training I had to do to be able to speak on these topics and be able to interpret them and work your way through them with installers.
And also be an electrician for X amount of years.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Exactly.
That's a minimum.
Yeah. Well, at least be a sparky. Like, I don't know. To me, that's a bit of a concern that there's people in these positions that aren't qualified or may interpret things a way that it's not supposed to be interpreted.
Sure.
That's a yeah. Oh, I don't like that.
Reach out.
Well,
I would agree. We would rather have an inspection program, I think, that required systems to be inspected before they could be signed off.
Now you're talking about language.
The volume.
Now you're talking banging on about mandatory inspections up in New South Wales.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, you probably know this. Like, the standard of work that's required in New South Wales is just not the standard that it is in Victoria, and and that's not a reflection on the poor installers in New South Wales. That is a 100% reflection on they're just not getting watched. So they're going to try and get away with they're going to try and get away with things, and it's not going to get pulled up. So they're just going to keep doing it because it's easier. So,
correct. I 100% agree.
Yeah. Are you talking my language now, Richard?
Yes. So we would advocate for more inspections, and that's because it brings up the whole industry. There's nothing against that. And we will take the criticism where it is serious.
Should see me, Richard. I've just got, I just put my chest
Shocking.
out.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Well, it's good.
Move to New South Wales. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, I'd move to New South Wales and I wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can't do anything.
ACT do inspections.
Yep.
We do a little bit of work there, not a lot, but just based on our geography, we occasionally are there.
Yep.
And and we are aware of the extra, not requirements there, but we are aware that the inspections happen there.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I've heard good reports from ACT that the standard of work's much better than than the surrounding New South Wales. Yeah. So
sure, I would 100% agree.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Richard. Well, thanks very much for giving us your time. Anyway,
That's okay. I'd just be interested to know, obviously you guys are doing some discussions with other people about this scheme. Are you finding the same sort of sentiment across the whole range, or are people happy with it? Are they sad with it? Are they neutral?
No, it's not. Yeah, not necessarily happy with it at the moment. Like, there's some that are dealing with it in different ways than others. And we've spoken to one of the aggregators, and they've got slightly different perspective. But it certainly has been a challenging period for a lot of people. There's no doubt about that. And seems to be, I don't know, maybe a bit of a lack of support from government. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it's been.
I don't have the answers, but I'm sure they could get away with a few less administrative requirements that seemingly are a bit dull.
I think people are getting paid out as well. So, I mean, just keep at it, be persistent, be stubborn.
That's right. And to be fair, I have come back at that since I got our list of jobs a week and a half ago, and I've ticked a lot of the boxes that they were after, and there's been about 5 jobs paid out in the last couple of weeks.
It's good to hear.
But prior to that, it was incredibly slow with just no information. So.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. I think it gets to the point with something like this, and even with backstop, that it gets to the point where it kind of gets a little bit out of hand.
Yeah.
And
I think so too.
I dedicated my whole days just to doing backstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge burden.
I 100% agree with that. And I sit there and go, when I got that email with all the jobs, I went, oh, shit, that's the rest of my, the next 2 weeks of me going around rectifying a lot of these little things, which means that my normal job can't be done. And that extra admin means that my normal job is delayed anyway. So, yeah.
Isn't it fun?
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks a lot.
It's been awesome.
Thanks, Richard. You enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Pat. That was nice to chat.
Good. Well, good luck with everything. I hope it starts improving. You start getting paid out and a bit more support. And hope you stay dry.
Yeah, we'll call again once backstop New South Wales.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that's good. Strap in for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be good.
I reckon my phone's going to go off.
Oh, it is. Maybe you're going to be the one moving to New South Wales.
Oh, let's go on tour.
Yeah, all righty. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the call.
All right, good on you, Richard.
Bye.
Thanks, man. Bye. See ya. All right, so that's Richard Joyce. All right, that was
a lot.
It was. There's a lot to deal with there. A lot to deal with. Was that too harsh? I didn't actually call him a sook because I didn't think he was being a sook. I was trying to play devil's advocate. I was all right, wasn't it?
No, I think you were fine.
I was all right.
Yeah, you do make a good point though. They're just not used to it.
Yeah, that's it. They're not
been operating like we have been, and you can get away with a lot more up there.
Yeah.
Unless you partner with an ethical company and someone that's doing right.
Yeah. Anything could happen.
Shit, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I reckon let's go to our final break.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do a little bit of a wrap up on what we spoke about here with those 3 guests that we had. And then we're going to have a chat about some other fun stuff that's been happening in the industry. And a bit of a wrap up on how it's been the last couple of weeks.
Beautiful.
All right. We will be right back.
Hey solar installers, struggling to keep up with CPD requirements? At Southwell Solar Training, we're here to make it simple. Our online courses are designed to give you the knowledge you need without the sales pitch. With an affordable subscription, you'll unlock access to our growing library of technical courses, covering everything from inspecting older systems to spotting installation defects. Learn at your own pace, earn CPD points, and stay ahead in the industry. Join us today and start learning smarter, not harder. Visit www.southwellsolartraining.com.au and get your CPD the easy and affordable way.
And we are back for our final segment of the podcast. It's been a great show so far.
Yeah, something a little bit different again.
Yeah.
And I think some of the people in New South Wales are, certainly struggling a lot with this.
Absolutely. And thank you so much to our guests, Bridgette, Kat and Richard. It was really good to hear 3 different perspectives and how they're dealing with it. And it just goes to show there's really no one blanket rule for anything in solar, is there? There's
No,
so
definitely
many
not.
variables.
Yeah, and there's different things that different people struggle with. It could be location based, could be based on their business model, could be a lot of different things. And I don't know, you just got to learn to adapt, I think.
Which we are good at.
For sure. We are definitely good at that.
We are very good at it. I don't know if we've got it down pat yet, but we're getting better.
For sure. Well, if anyone else is listening and has got maybe even a different perspective, if they listen to us and goes, you idiots from Victoria, you don't know what it's like up here. You know, this is what it's really like. You reach out.
Yeah.
Yell out, and we might even get you on again or whatever.
Do a follow-up episode if we need to.
For sure.
Maybe iPart will come on.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Do you reckon we need boxing gloves for that one? Probably not as much.
No, but if it was anything like Costa's episode, you are not answering or you are not asking any questions.
No, I'll bring the swear jar in.
I've been good today.
You have. You've been great. You've been really good. Let's see. We've still got a third of the episode to go, so let's see how we go. All right, so a bit going on last couple of weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we've recorded.
I think we should just let people know, if you're watching on YouTube, Pat's got a medal around his neck.
I do.
And he's pretty chuffed about it. Do you want to tell us where you won that one?
Yep, I do. Of course I do. So we had the Solar Cutters event in Frankston at Functions by the Bay. Great little spot there, wasn't it? At the Frankston footy ground.
It was really good.
Yeah.
The views.
Yeah, really nice. Really nice. I was actually quite impressed with the people who came from interstate talking about how much they love Frankston. And anyone who's from Victoria would be like, what? You're where?
They're delusional. They got no clue.
Anyway, it was a pretty good showcase. Like, that's a good spot. That's a really good spot. And the weather was all right. Like, it was a little bit chilly, but the sun was out and it was quite nice.
It was good. It was a good afternoon.
Yeah, it was good. Good event. So, yeah, we did they had all the usual sales, prezos, and I'm not as interested in that. So I was sort of back mingling quietly a little bit. And then, there was a pretty good presentation from GSES about...
yes, that was good.
Fault finding in systems. That was good. Thanks to Chris for doing that. Then we went into some games. And, we all got put into some games with people that we don't know. And I met some people.
I love that. Yeah. You learn about different people.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, you network. It's a really good way.
It was cool. So, anyway... Team 4 came home with the chocolates.
Congratulations, Team 4.
Yeah, so we won. So I got one of these medals. There was 3 physical challenges as well. So I was able to get the full, out of all the people there, I got the maximum points. I got the maximum on 2 of them, and there was a third one, which, I don't know, they gave the points to someone else, but I'm pretty sure I should have won it. But anyway.
Bit salty.
A little bit. But the good thing was, it was from my team. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're a team player, that's for sure.
That was good. So that was the paper airplane throw.
Such a dad win as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I had a little secret up my sleeve. Anyway.
Are you going to share or no?
I don't know. Yeah, all right, stop it. So there was actually no rules put in place when they did it. So I grabbed 2 bits of paper.
Pat, you're a cheat. You're a fraud.
So my one got to the other side of the room. But anyway, 2 bits of paper. They didn't say you couldn't.
Okay. Get that medal off.
Well, I didn't end up getting the points of that anyway. So even if they wanted to disqualify me for that. Anyway, then there was the Kookaburra impersonation.
You want to give us
5 of us. I don't know if I want to do that again. I'm not sure. I don't think I will. I'm sure there's a video of it somewhere, so you can check the socials. And then there was the air guitar championship thing.
And I have seen that one. They posted on a few of the previous roadshows.
Yeah.
They look pretty funny. Did you tear it up there?
Yeah. I sort of went a bit silly. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going, is this guy an inspector? What the hell?
Were you sober?
Yeah. Yep. I had 1 Carlton 0.
Where are you?
Yeah, so anyway, I was on the ground doing the whole Marty McFly sort of in a circle sort of thing, air guitar thing, and then I kicked the chair over. Unfortunately, it had someone's laptop on it, but anyway, so that was
right. Oh my gosh, you're going to have a bill come as you become your.
Well, that's all right. It's you don't. I don't think Motley Crue and those type of bands. I don't think they really apologise too much for trashing hotel rooms. So I'm not going to apologise.
All right, tell it. All right.
Anyway, so great night with the Cutters. Thanks to Lauren and Costa for putting that together, and all the sponsors and everything. It was really good. Yeah, it was awesome. Good to catch up with some people, some usual suspects who were there, and got to meet a few other people as well. So that was cool. Really good night. Really good night. Good to do some professional development. And it was fun. Now, you snuck off early. Where were you going?
Yes, I did sneak off early. I tried not to make a scene about it anymore.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I actually went to Holmes Glen Moorabbin.
Woohoo.
Yes, which is very exciting because
And yes.
I am finally on the road to maybe, if we're following up from our last episode, the one just you and I did in whenever that was, I was very interested about becoming an installer and going down that pathway. So yeah, I'm kicking it off with my Cert 2 in electrotechnology, and it's not disrupting my work at 6 starts. Schooling I got to do on a Tuesday and Thursday, 5:30 till 9:30, and then on a Saturday.
Brutal.
4. Yeah. So I'm pretty keen to pump it out. I'll be done before the grand final.
Good stuff.
Yeah, which is really cool. And it's been really fun so far. I've only had 2 nights there, and they've also been the back off a 9-hour day at work, and I've just loved it.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very, very exciting.
Well done for taking the leap and starting.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. Cool. It's taken me a while to find a solution, be able to do both, because I refuse to give up what I'm doing at 6 star.
Yep. Loving it.
Yes, bit on.
Yeah,
It's been a big week.
Yeah.
An exciting week.
Another big week.
Yeah.
All right. So you wanted to also talk about what's it called? I don't even know what the name of it is. I know you've got a little thing written down for it all. So
yeah, I do have to say the correct wording of it, but I want to officially announce that I have a really cool pilot work experience program for renewables and solar, and I think it's so important because there is already such a need for new people coming into the industry and fresh faces, young people from school. We have a lot of people leave every year, but we don't tend to replace them.
Yeah.
And I just think if we can try and all put our heads together and offer some sort of work experience for these programs, it might just create some better pathways. So it's really important. I've probably been a little bit of a devil when I was in high school, so I'm trying to pay it forward.
I still can't believe that, but anyway.
You wouldn't believe it.
No.
But, so I will just give a bit of a spiel. I do, and I keep in mind, I do have a few businesses I want to reach out to, but if you are interested and if it's something your workplace can offer, please get in contact and I will send you the full details. So it's the Clean Energy Engagement Program. It's a pilot work experience program for Year 10 students at the Victorian secondary schools in the city of Monash, facilitated by Monash Tech School. So it aims to give students a real and hands-on experience in a week-long placement to show them what's actually like to work in the industry, the range of careers and the innovation and technologies can be implemented in the future. So yeah, any details or if anyone wants to get involved, let me know. It is a week-long placement. How 6 Star is going to be doing it is we'll be taking on 3 kids for the 1 week and we'll be shuffling them around. So one of them will have a day out with me on the tools and just groundwork.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, so groundwork and a bit of like a defect day. So there's a few installs that I'm going to purposely leave some stickers off or some site plans off and then we can go back to.
Cool.
So that'll be one day. One day they'll go out in the truck and they'll go do some deliveries, and then another day they'll be in the office doing some admin, make some consults with the sales team, and then they'll all do a swap around.
Yeah.
So then one will go tools, delivery and whatnot, and then on their last 2 days they can choose whichever one they want to go to.
You haven't managed to get a podcast day in there?
I could.
Oh, maybe.
I could. I wonder, I wonder if I could do
Well,
that.
we'll have a chat about that. That's a good idea.
So yeah, very excited. If anyone wants to you can have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have as many kids as you want. It's going to be 1 student per 4 people in the company.
Yeah.
So we are just for our workload, we just wanted to cap it at 3, and we're going to do a few rounds of it because I think they've got 40 or 50 kids in the pilot program.
Yep.
So
where are these kids from?
Schools within the Monash region. So I mean, we're based in Limbrook. Realistically, these kids have got to get dropped off by their parents.
Yeah.
So
how old are most of them?
Year 10, so it'd be 15.
15, yeah, maybe 16, 15, 16.
Yeah, something like that. So as much as I would love to have businesses on all over Vic, we got to keep it reasonable, because their parents will be dropping them off to and from. Yeah. So anyone in, I guess, around Monash, Casey area, Cardinia area that want to get involved, please let me know because we've got some spots to fill. So it's really exciting.
So do you have to have, is it just with these numbers you're talking about, so it's what is it, like a 3-to-1 ratio? Is that?
Yes, that's correct.
What's that? So you need to have 3 employees.
3 employees per 1 student.
So, okay. Yep. All right, cool.
Or whatever your capacity is. I mean, we could obviously have a lot more at 6 Star, but we just thought we can't really, like, you can't have a kid with everyone, really.
Yeah, okay.
So to try and keep them, I guess, as engaged as possible and try and get them a really broad range of what they can do, we just capped it at 3 for the week. And then, go from there.
So when's this happening?
I believe it starts in June officially.
Yeah, not far away.
Yeah, not far away. So it is the pilot program. It's the first time it's been run, and I'm pretty excited and pretty honoured to be involved in the back end of it as well. So it's been really cool.
Cool.
Paying it forward.
For sure. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
I still don't believe you're a rat bag at school, but anyway.
I would hate to say I'll prove it, but I can give you some evidence if you need.
Oh, that's funny. All right. All right, cool. All right, well, that's good. Looking forward to hearing more about that when that's happening. Another thing I heard come through yesterday was some guidance from ESV they've released in regards to the supervision of apprentices.
Yes.
Yeah, which is, it's always been something that I feel like ESV have been pretty good with it, but it's still, I feel like it's always been a little bit open to interpretation. And then there's been some grey area in there. And I only looked over the document pretty quickly last night and some of the tables that they've put together. It's like really specific, and they've really seemed to have honed in on any grey area. And they've put down all the tasks that you would do as an apprentice electrician, what you can't do, and what level of supervision you need. And they've put levels of supervision really clearly. So,
and how's it to be enforced?
Well, it's up to the employers to enforce it and make sure that this isn't happening. So that's a good question though. Like, I don't think there's going to be a whole
random inspectors.
Well, I think if someone from ESV ends up coming out to a site and then they see apprentices working unsupervised, they're going to go, "Where's your supervision?"
Yeah.
Or "Where's your A grade?" And they'll be like, "We're an apprentice. Okay, you need supervision. Where's?" Yeah, well, that's right. That's right.
What's the damage? Is there money? Is it penalty?
Well, not really sure. I don't think that was spoken about.
Do you be confirmed about?
Yeah, I think so. The things that sort of poked out to me, which was quite interesting, were they've put things like fault finding. When you're fault finding, you pretty much cannot do that at all as a first year. So I saw that and thought, I mean, that's fair enough. I can see why they've said that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. That's fair. But then I had a look at, if you're a fourth year and you're doing fault finding work, you can do that, but you can only do it under direct supervision, right? Now, direct supervision means 1-to-1. So you can't have any more than one other apprentice under that A grade supervision. Right? So it needs to be 1-to-1, and they need to be within earshot and within sight.
Okay.
So that's kind of does make it a little bit difficult. And you're talking about a fourth year, someone who potentially is almost qualified.
Almost qualified. They should.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bit.
Oh, I looked at that and I'm like, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Like a fourth year kind of knows what they're doing. I mean, really, if you're in fourth year and you don't really like you've been doing it 3-something years. Also,
the ratio to apprentices to A grades at any company is.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be another thing I saw, right? So I saw A grades can only have, I think it's one, you can only have a 1-to-1 when it's direct supervision. I'll have to look at the other two classifications, but there was one where I think the maximum was 3. That was sort of like second and third years if they're doing just normal installation work. And then the fourth year, I think the maximum was 5. So that means you can have like 5 apprentices working for you if they're fourth years, and that's the maximum. So it was something along those lines. What's that, sorry?
At the one site?
No, not necessarily. It didn't say at the one site. Yeah, across the business. But if you and then there was also some rules. If you've got like a first year and a fourth year, well, you almost need 2 A grades to do that, because the first year is going to take up one full A grade.
On its own, yeah,
right.
1 A grade.
That's right. So, yeah, interesting. And this is going to, I mean...
I need to scan over this.
Yeah, have a look at it. Have a look at it, and it's actually interesting, and I'm glad they've put it in writing.
ESV, huh?
ESV. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, and it was interesting, another document I saw come out last night, there was some changes, I think it's the CEO, Leanne Houston, I think she's the CEO of ESV. Anyway, she put something out. I got an email because I'm a licensed electrical inspector and A grade about some changes to some of the penalties as well. Yeah. So they seemed to me like the ESV's got a lot more powers now. That's what I saw. Especially when it came to unsafe or potentially unsafe work being energised. And then, the penalties are much higher too. So I'm not sure exactly what they are, but it seemed to be a lot more. Yep.
Okay.
Big deterrent, I think. Let's just hope they don't just wield the stick once something's gone wrong, and let's be proactive about it. So I'm not lining up ESV today. I'm not doing that. Certainly not doing that. But yeah, let's just hope it's not just a reactive measure, and they're going to be proactive.
Yeah, interesting. When do these come into play?
I know the one I saw about the apprentices coming into play, that was the new guidelines coming into play on the 1st of September.
I'm pretty sure I registered for a Zoom about this.
You might have. You very much might have. So, yes.
Everyone, Tuesday, the 3rd of June.
There you go.
Requirements for the effective supervision of apprentice electricians.
There you go. That's the one. That's the one. So, yeah, we can put the links in the show notes about that, because that's an important thing, especially for the people in Victoria. And anyone who's not in Victoria, not a bad idea to take the lead on what ESV are doing, because they're usually leading the way. So if you're going to be doing what ESV are asking you to do, you're going to be doing the right stuff. So
New South Wales might have mandatory inspections sooner than we think.
As if that's happening. You reckon? Well,
how are they going to do the whole battery rebate thing?
Well, that'll be a federal thing, right? So federally, they may. Who knows? I don't know. CER don't ask for inspections now on like mandatory inspections. They're doing like 5%.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't. But they did. It's just a 5% like random inspections on CER. So I don't know if that's gonna. You think that would increase with battery rebate? I hope. Hey, CER, maybe look at mandatory inspections for this rebate.
You've got it. You're going to put a target on our back.
No. Well, all right. Well, what?
Unknown caller.
My phone plugged up. All right, I'll unplug that.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know that person. Unknown caller. There we go. Don't know how they even got through, actually.
Careful, because they might do voicemail.
Yeah, okay. Unplug that. All right. That's so funny. Anyway, but targets on their back. No, look, I mean, I think batteries are important, right? They got to be done right. I mean, even Richard was saying he would support that. I think a lot of people say from other states, when I bang on about mandatory inspections, they say, "Oh, it might be a bit much for us." It's like, well, get used to it. Like, do it properly then.
Yeah.
It's actually not that hard. Once you get used to it. So there you go. CER, mandatory inspections, please. Or at least increase the rate.
Increase something.
Increase the rate.
Work with us.
Yeah. Other thing I wanted to just quickly follow up on. I know Joe's floating around somewhere, but we spoke a little bit last week about AGL. And we spoke about the it was just that article.
Yes, VPP.
Yeah, which I thought we would. I don't know, if anything, I think I was sticking up for AGL, because I thought that the article misrepresented what their VPP did. So that's what I thought. Bit of a different story this week with AGL, because they ended up with a different department as well. But I'll tell you what, like, they cut our power off here. We're in our new place, but they cut our power off last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Not at the old place. They cut it off here.
Exactly. So we asked them to cut it off at the old place, and they cut it off here. And all of a sudden, we're getting all these notifications that our doorbell's not working. We had concreters working here, and they're like, the garage door won't go down. And then we had trying to get our kids to come in from school, and we couldn't get them in the house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So all these things are happening, and Joe and I are working together out in Gippsland, and we're trying to work through all this. She's like on the phone, stressing out, and I ended up. I think it was 4 calls she did, or 3 or 4 calls, and I ended up getting through to them, and they said they turned it back on earlier, and I was out there like with my voltmeter going, I'm here, I'm standing here, there's no power.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and this was like 5:30 at night, and at this time of year, it's dark. It's like
dark.
yeah, it's dark by 5:20. Yeah.
Oh my God, Milo would have been on psych right here.
Oh yeah, he wasn't happy. He was not happy. So, anyway, look, I understand that these organisations make mistakes, and that's fine. Like they've turned the power off the wrong property. Okay, that's fine. But then to be like without power for like 6-7 hours and trying to work it out, and they're
crazy.
They're saying things like, "Oh, make sure your main switch is turned off, and we can turn it back on." I'm like, "You're the ones who turn the power off. You make sure the main switch is freaking off."
What are you talking about? Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, wasn't happy. Was not happy because the last episode we spoke, you asked me who my retailer was, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's AGL. It's definitely AGL.
Too bad if you had someone on life support here.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Too bad. Like, how do you answer to that?
I know. Difficult. Very difficult. And it's not like we didn't pay a bill.
Yeah.
It was like an admin error from their side. Like, fair enough if it goes off. I get that. But let us get it back on straight away. And anyway.
Or is it
venting about that? No, it wasn't. I was net.
I'm joking.
Well, we're United here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we're United. So, yeah.
Nah, it's not them.
It's not. So yeah, anyway, we'll take them out of the gun for now. But anyway, just thought
now that's the key point.
Yeah. Just thought that was worth noting. Anything else? You got anything else been happening?
Yeah, I think we have got we're actually recording next Wednesday.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we've got a really exciting podcast next week. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come
on the road,
and it's going to come off at the back of doing some filming. I'm doing some filming yesterday. Wow, next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, next week's going to be another big week.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
You just dropped.
And you got your little trade school thing you're doing as well at night time.
Yes. I've already made a lovely friend in there. His name's Cooper, so we've paired up together. And there's 2 other females in the class as well. So it's really
out of how many? How many in your class?
17.
Yeah, right.
I think. Yeah, 17.
So 3 females out of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
It's a decent ratio. Like, I mean, it'd be good if it was a bit higher. It seems decent. Considering when I did my apprenticeship, I didn't even come across any females. There was just I think we had the hairdressers in the class a few doors down. And I think one guy I was in trade school with, like he worked with his girlfriend or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was about all the exposure we got. No one else.
There you go.
So anyway, we're moving along, coming a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think that's just about it. Anything else? We're good.
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Well, good episode. Keen to get this one out.
Yeah, we'll get this one out. And anyone reach out if you've got any other things you want to add to the PDRS scheme. We're hoping that people are getting their rebates paid and it's all happening. And it gets a bit easier. Hope it doesn't all just get all washed up in this,
Lost in translation.
Yeah, and the federal rebate coming on board. And, I hope people don't just sort of abandon it. Hope it does.
And I believe it's still all speculation, the federal rebate, isn't it? There's nothing officially in.
Well, they did. The CER did come out this week with some things.
Email, I did see that.
Yeah. So they've got a webpage now with some things on there. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it is 1 July. It looks like they do have some sort of mechanism in there now to wind back the STCs like they do for solar. Each year it'll drop off a little bit, and the drop off I saw didn't seem to be as significant as what I thought it might have been.
Yeah. So
it doesn't seem to be too much less for next year, which is good.
Cool.
I just hope everyone can get their hands on their batteries. Come 1st of July.
I've had a few of our wholesalers bring us and say, how much do you want us to put aside? How much do you want us to order? Like, whatever. Order whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. May not buy it, but just order it.
Yeah, I'm not paying for shit now. I'm not putting a PO in now. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But if you want to order it, go for it. No, we're not really giving any huge numbers out there. We'll have it. We've got a little bit of stock set aside, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well, your attachment rate, I'm tipping on the new houses, is going to be much higher now.
Absolutely. And the attachment rate on battery-ready inverters, I know we had this with Costa the other day.
Yeah, the battery-ready inverters.
Battery-ready.
He loves that, yeah.
Yeah. I think the wholesale market is just probably not going to sell anything but it, to be honest.
Yeah. It does seem that way, doesn't it? It does seem that way.
So
I'm noticing the inspections I'm doing, almost all got batteries now. And
well done.
Yeah, and not all my inspections have solar. So some of them already got solar and they're adding a battery. Heaps of them, and there's pretty much anyone putting solar in now is doing a battery.
There you go.
So that's
hopefully your solar isn't far off.
Yeah, I think we're looking at late June.
It's exciting.
Late June, and then I'm going to be flicking the switch on 1 July.
Hell yeah.
Commissioning.
Do an episode with it.
Yeah, we will.
With it.
Yeah, we will. We absolutely will. Yeah, we can sit there and look at it.
Why not? Touch
the
it.
app and touch it. Yeah.
Gorgeous looking thing.
Yeah. I'll get my test finger out onto it. No. Hey, I did look up one other thing before we wrap up. I looked up getting a standard test finger. I looked it up. Do you know how much they are?
How much?
Like the cheapest one I looked at to get was like $500.
What?
I know.
That is ridiculous.
They're like some. Yeah. I even looked up to get a fake one, and it was like $350 or something.
Oh my God. That is ridiculous. We're not getting. No, we don't need one.
We're not. I don't think we're going to get one. We're not going to get one anyway. All right. Cool. Well, I think we're wrapping up.
Cool.
Thanks everyone for listening. We're thinking of you, all the people in New South Wales, with the rebate. Good luck with it all.
Yep.
Anything else on Backstop before we finish? Backstop's looking good, improving.
Backstop is looking lit.
Yeah, good.
It's looking really good. I really hope that people are starting to re-engage and recheck commissions, hit those tests, have a go. If they're not coming through, let me know. Happy to help.
Awesome.
And just keep going forward. AusNet Portal has got a bit of an update.
Oh, good. Another one.
Yep, another one. So it's all happening.
Good stuff.
I reckon we're past our 6 month.
Yeah. Oh, are we? Not since we did the episode, I don't think. Are we?
Not since we did the episode, but...
since we've had Backstop, we are. Yeah. Definitely. Most definitely. Yep. Good stuff. All right. Well, cool. Thanks everyone for listening. Let's all speak soon. See you on the socials. I will... we'll be recording in a few more days. So
hell yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. All right.
It's rumbling.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.